All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Student Game Report with the man Kyle F and Nash. What's up?
Good to be aboard. Hey, we didn't take any weeks off up in this beast.
You say I don't work hard anymore?
No, I'm just saying I work harder than you. I mean, not to say that that's a high bar either. This is getting confused. Why did it have to come out like that? See, I wasn't even trying to talk trash.
Because we have this. I think Jim's included this too. Our friend Big Jim Nees. We have this kind of relationship now where we just like throw barbs at each other on text, on air. It doesn't matter. There's no limits on Twitter. It doesn't matter.
I mean, I feel like I'm filling in the gap for our good friend GWSTWIO G Stelio, because it was his job to try to keep people on Earth. And since he's a family man now, which is a good thing, by the way, I feel like I have to fill that gap.
Well, I did talk to him last week. Actually, he's doing really well. So
good.
It's good to hear that. We got a lot going on. Let's just say this real quick, and we'll get to the NFL in a second. But the theme of this podcast today has been this: college football has owned the headlines for the last 72 to 96 hours.
Yes.
It's not even close. Not the NBA, not the NFL. Even with baseball, free agencies, right now pretty, active. College football has been. I mean, we're not even talking about the on-field things. Like, obviously, we'll get to Michigan beating Ohio State finally.
And championship games upcoming, of course.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Also, we still have conference championship weekend coming up this coming weekend, and then Sunday, of course, the selection day. We'll know what the playoff is. So we have that still on the bend. But we have coaches on the mood, and not just any coaches from any program. We got big coaches from big programs going to other big/legacy programs. Let's start here first.
Yes.
One by one. Lincoln Riley, from Oklahoma to USC. How shocked?
Pretty shocked. Once I heard the terms and contracts and kind of ish they were paying for, it was less shocking. But listen, every time there's a coaching removal, lack of a better word, whether it be retirement or firing or ends of a contract or even in the rare case of the friendly divorce, i.e. Coach Ogeron with LSU, I suppose it still counts as a firing. But nonetheless,
right.
There are always the usual suspects. Oh, well, they could always hire this guy or this guy. Think back in recent history where that used to be Bill Cowher in the NFL before they figured out, hey, he's actually happy at CBS. Shut up. Now, that guy was, for a while, for the past 2 years, I feel like, was Lincoln Riley, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, he's hired Lincoln Riley. And everybody goes, why would Lincoln Riley leave? And then he did. And no one was ready for that, least of all me, okay? Now, I'll spoiler alert you with this. Not the most surprising maneuver of the past 24 to 48, but certainly something I wasn't prepared for. But listen, when you got somebody coming at you, throwing a contract allegedly worth approximately $10 million a year, while also allegedly purchasing the 2 houses you own in not Stillwater, the Norman? Anyways, in Oklahoma, we'll just say, okay? And paying upwards, allegedly, of $500,000 over what those 2 houses are worth, and then allegedly buying you a $6 million house in the LA area, while also giving unlimited, no, not just for recruiting, but unlimited use of the university's private jet for your family. Again, a little bit less of a mystery on what happened there, don't you think?
I'm not shocked that he was on the move. We've had rumors for the last couple of years about him going somewhere, even the NFL. We've heard, like, when the Dallas Cowboys had an opening, his name was in the little cycle of people that the Cowboys could hire at some point. Also, with Mike McCarthy, of course. So him on the move isn't a shock. I guess so much.
Well,
so where?
If you took all those times where he was listed as a candidate seriously, which I didn't, maybe it wasn't. For me, it was, because I never took any of those rumors seriously. I didn't. There was no reason to.
And I get that. I get that. But look, forget the money he's getting paid, but the fact, the things you just mentioned, the private jet access to his family, oh, by the way, I'm paying your mortgage. So right off the bat, you have your rich is rich, and you have really no more debt now because all your homes are paid for now. I mean, it's just, I where do I sign up? I'm not even like playing a joke. Where do you sign up for that? I mean,
Well,
anybody with a straight face would do that, make that move most likely.
here's where it is, EJ. For all of us, all those out there like me, who has questioned the prestige and prominence and comfort of the job there at USC, it's about to get tested, right? And oh, by the way, let's not forget this is USC that recently had an academic scandal for celebrities allegedly. Okay, well, no, that's actually found to be true. Buying grades and stuff, or admission, or however you want to put it, right? Not grades, but rights to admission. Okay, yeah, this is a fantastic look on how things look out there. Okay, thanks. But I'm not. I'll put it this way. So all this money they throw at Lincoln Riley, if he does not produce, not only is that making him look less than smart and actually looking particularly greedy for taking the money and running, it also makes that program look stupid. So the clock is ticking and the pressure is on, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody wants to go out there, all the talking heads, the Colin Cowherds of the world wants to tell me that program will turn around and be relevant again in 2 years and competing for a playoff in 2 years. Okay, we about to find out,
Well, clearly they're desperate. It's been a little while since USC has been at the forefront of college football, talking points in terms of.
Is that the Pete Carroll era we're talking there?
We're talking almost 20 years now, dude. I mean, the Texas game was what? The Texas loss was what? 2005. So since then, what have they done? Really?
15, 16 sounds right. 20 seemed a bit much, but it's closer than I thought. Yeah.
They're desperate now. Remember, 20 just happened, okay? So they're desperate, obviously, too. But I will say this much, though. If Lincoln Riley is as good as we all maybe think he is, I mean, I don't know how you feel about Lincoln Riley as a head coach. Oklahoma certainly has been one of the top tier teams in college football the last, 5, 6, 7 years under his watch. That the bar is not. I mean, it shouldn't take much to get over the hump to become one of those, a top tier team in the Pac-12, considering that the only really good to great team we've had is Oregon this year. And other than that, we have like some pretenders here and there. The Utah.
You mean mediocre to acceptable?
My point is
good to great.
The bar is set pretty low for Lincoln Riley. Everybody's saying like he's won the SEC, and maybe that's so. Maybe he's scared of the SEC. But I think it's more. I think we should lean more in the fact that I have a house being paid off, a house being paid in LA, and everything else.
Excuse me. Houses,
plural. Right. So I think that's a little more important than the SEC bullshit. I'll take being a quitter if I'm going to get my mortgages paid off and then some, and then a house bought for me also.
Yeah, they're paying him to be called scared, if you want to use that defense, which, I mean, I'm not worried about him going to the SEC or any of that. When somebody throws that much coin at you, of course you take it. And oh, by the way, he has the added advantage that the Pac-12 doesn't play much defense like the Big 12 anyway. So
like, some things just stay the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think, and the thing is also for him too. Again, the bar is set low. USC's in a pretty mediocre conference, so it won't take much to get over the hump. Beat Oregon.
Yeah,
Oregon. That's your job. Beat Oregon. Be better than Oregon, and that's it.
Yeah, don't have to worry about Nick Saban or now other coaches which may have moved into the conference. Am I right? Something tells me you're not talking about Billy Napier going from the Raging Cajuns to the Florida Gators, Chief.
Yeah, that news went under the rug a long time ago after the last fucking 4 days, man. No, the bigger, I think this is the bigger story, honestly, is Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Now, in my view, this is the big est story. Somehow or another, to me, this is bigger than Lincoln Riley for the main reason in that Brian Kelly, bigger in the sense it's more of a surprise because Brian Kelly was never on the short list that I was talking about earlier. Well, when somebody leaves a job in college, it's always Lincoln Riley, it's always Luke Fickell, right? Yeah. You never heard Brian Kelly, except maybe with the USC job. But come to find out, this dude rips out of town to head to LSU. I probably segued all of that for you, but you and I and everybody else knew what we were talking about. But the punchline is this, my good friend. He, when he left, didn't give a single solitary beep, it would seem like, too, right? And I'm not talking about, he only met with people for 11 minutes before he left. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, coaches, allegedly, an assistant coach is getting the text of Brian Kelly's departure as he's leaving the house, having just seen a Notre Dame recruit. Oops.
Yep.
The term blindsided is the key word here amongst those who were speaking of reaction to the departure of Brian Kelly. And add me to it. I'm not a member of the Notre Dame staff or even fanhood like our good friend Big Jim, but did not see this coming.
Yep.
And this could be incredibly problematic for the program and all the people that want him to go. Be careful what you wish for, Biatches. You might be about to get it.
Well, it's also shocking too because it's not like he was there for like 2, 3, 4 years like Lane Kiffin and Bolts. He's been there 12 years. They've been really good on those 12 years. They've been a national champion contender these last couple of years, especially too.
This year included, by the way.
This year included, and they could still technically get in.
Which is ridiculous.
Which, I don't think it's gonna happen. But let's just put a narrative stake here. This happening now is this shocking. And my thought was, okay, well, maybe they've been talking under the table for a little while now, because I mean the Orgeron parting of ways happened about a month ago now.
Sure.
But listen to these stories that have come out last like 12 hours. Maybe this wasn't as quick as we thought, and maybe there's more things there that we're not privy to that we don't know about between Brian Kelly and the school itself. That maybe it came to a head, and he's like, I'm out.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. We've had the conversation about on this and on the Huddle Up podcast, among other places where Brian Kelly's name has been in the crosshairs. Like, it's not been Jim Harbaugh bad. We'll get to that later, but it's been ridiculous. And let's take all of that aside for a minute.
Okay.
I don't even necessarily care about whatever other drama or whatever has taken place. Goodness gracious, I don't think it's possible to be a head coach at a program without the fans bitching about you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But if you want to approach the question, Ernest Christian, of what it was probably known at least amongst them for a while. Here is the example I can draw for you, right? I cover the UCF Knights pretty closely for the 3pointconversion.com and now also for the Black and Gold Banneret.
Bing!
And I can tell you that back in 2017, right, the undefeated year, the national championship year based on the Colley Matrix. No, they didn't declare it. It's based on the Colley Matrix, which is a sanctioned entity by the NCAA for who the national champion is. Look in the record book if you don't believe me. However, as we are all there watching the conference championship for the American Athletic Conference take place, UCF versus Memphis at that particular time, it breaks that Scott Frost has departed for Nebraska.
Right.
I mention all of the above to say the deal was done, I think, at least a month-ish before. While he was in Temple, he met with somebody up there to confirm the Nebraska job, and did so certainly at under a cloak of night, so to speak.
Yeah, I like that.
Obviously, Brian Kelly did the same, right? Like, I couldn't tell you when. I'm sure that story will come out, but this is not something that like they just called. Hey, so yeah, we just warmed up. We just warmed up Coach O's desk, and it needs a new body to keep it warm. Can you sit in there? No, that's not how that worked.
Do you believe we got into a discussion on our little text thread, you and Jim, about the jobs and all that? What jobs are valuable? What jobs are attractive? Now, I've been saying, not me necessarily, but I've been hearing for a good while now, at least a decade, that LSU is a top 5 job in college football. I've been here for a long time, and I've heard many people say that. I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying whoever said it is wrong with saying that.
Right.
But it's something I've consistently heard for a very long time, that LSU is one of the best jobs in all of college football. Is this true? In your opinion, is this a true statement or not?
I don't see any downsides, right? Hell, even the food's good in Louisiana. You're sitting in there in Louisiana, the number 3 stopping ground, recruiting allegedly, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in a 10-hour drive, within a 10-hour drive to Florida, which is one of the top ones. You're an even shorter distance, I believe, to Texas, which is, a top. I think they themselves. I think it's Texas, Florida, Louisiana, California, or if that's wrong, it's some mix between those 4 states, right?
Right.
But hell, Coach O has ties to California himself, having been an active head coach up in that beast too. So, when you're Coach O pulling in, you're looking pretty good. If you're Brian Kelly and you have his contacts from Notre Dame, and you don't have to travel all over the country like you do if you're based out of South Bend, that's only an improvement. And that's not even getting into some of the other perks that he would enjoy, actually being a member of a conference, for example, and getting some of that money in endowment. You're not having to worry as much about academic standards.
That's the point there. That's the point that Notre Dame fans refuse to acknowledge. That there are certain standards that they uphold to, okay, that as far back as Lou Holt's saying, we need to lower the standards.
Yeah, well, and I'll never agree with an institution, whether it's Notre Dame or Vanderbilt, openly campaigning to lower their standards. If it happens that way, it happens that way. I'm not going to get into it, but I think that's part of Notre Dame's mystique, is that they're there to enrich human beings as well as, build great athletes, right?
Right. I'm just saying that's what it is. That's the landscape. You want to compete, you may have to make some adjustments.
And the way I said it last night with Big Jim on Huddle Up, bing, was that if you're Brian Kelly, what is the downside to making this move? Thank you. You have a job that's at least commensurate with prestige. You may not have as much tradition, but I mean, just a few years ago, LS bleeping you literally dropped the statistically best offense in the history of college football. Okay.
Also, tradition, whatever, because UM has tradition. The Miami Hurricanes have tradition. What the hell are they doing now?
Well, so Miami having tradition isn't the same as, the Gippa or whatever.
No, I get what I'm saying. They had but I mean, there was like a kind of an anomaly.
There's a difference between history and tradition. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Miami didn't have all that much history. They just couldn't retain it. Like, Miami was great for so many years.
No.
You were old. You weren't necessarily great all those times. I don't know Miami history super well, but I don't remember them being dominant like back when leather helmets were still a thing.
No, basically, Miami history is basically this: 1984 to 1991.
His name is Jimmy Johnson. Can we just move on, please?
Jimmy Johnson,
this probably.
Well, right. Jimmy Johnson, Derek Erickson. Boom. That stops a couple years.
Oh, right, and of course, Eric Dennison.
Right. Dennis Erickson.
Thank you. Former 49er coach. He was there for about 2 seconds because he was awful.
Then they're mediocre to bad for the next like 6-7 years. They come back in the early 2000s, have a good couple years, and then that's it. Done. That's their tradition. That's their history. People call
and now they can't get a coach because nobody wants to go there because they're realizing how good a job it isn't.
No, it's the school is also they don't prioritize football in the same way that other schools do.
Like speaking, you're talking about which college football jobs are the best. You notice that no one's even bringing up Miami's name right now. Yeah, they got their guy.
May Diaz.
No, he's. I believe they got the guy at SMU there now. Manny Diaz is not a thing anymore, I don't think.
No, Manny Diaz is their current coach right now.
Right. They hired somebody out of SMU, was my understanding. Anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
I can't remember his name immediately, so I won't confirm to it. But yeah. The punchline is, if you're Brian Kelly, what do you actually lose here? Honestly. Let's say he whiffs. I mean, he's completely awful. Like, let's say he completely leaves LSU in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
He is still the winningest coach in the history of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football program. You can die on that and be okay and have a legacy and be a damn coaching legend. That is the fact of the case. That name is never going away, Brian Kelly. And the only way Brian Kelly went away is if you somehow made him feel compelled to do so, or somehow got outbid by LSU, which people keep telling me, well, Kyle, the money. It's hard for me to believe, and maybe it's simply because I don't know enough, Ernest Christian, that Notre Dame could be just completely outbid, right? Don't they still have that damn NBC money? That's a thing. And, say what you will about whether or not they belonged in the college football playoff the past 2 years, and we can make all the jokes we want to about the ACC, and I'm going to keep making them. Sorry, FSU fan. But, but again, I'm failing to see the downside for it.
By the way, it is Manny Diaz. I was right. What you got was you weren't totally wrong. What happened is that the SMU hired Miami's offensive coordinator, Rhett Lashley, as the coach.
Yeah, I had it backwards. Okay, but
so
yeah,
it's backwards.
I knew there was Miami and something with MSU or whatever. But yeah, I mean, okay, sure. Manny Diaz is the coach for now. How long is that going to last? I digress.
Right. It could last as long as another week. We'll see.
I mean,
they're trying to poach to get Mario Cristobal up in Oregon, but we'll see what happens there. Let's start on the field stuff real quick. Michigan finally did it. They finally did it. They finally did it. I was so happy for them, man. I was so well. You guys know Michigan's my number 2 team because I've always been a fan. Because Michigan is the reason I became Heat fan in the first place.
Michigan is the whole reason you're a Brady fan. It now totally makes sense.
No. It's because Glenn Rice went to Michigan, national championship '89.
I mean, Glenn Rice is pretty great.
Right. I became Heat fan because Glenn Rice. But I always been a Michigan guy as a second team after Florida State. So I was so happy. I was happy for them. I was so happy for them on Saturday that I didn't give a shit that Florida State lost to Florida, even though I was still kind of pissed. But still, whatever.
I mean, you knew it was coming though.
Yeah, by now. So do we now change the narrative on Jim Harbaugh again? Not saying us, but the rest of the fucking media and these idiots that don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean, there's at least one off season when they're not going to talk about him getting fired. Am I right?
We're there. We are there. We are there.
That's win number 1, man. Listen, if you can go an off season at your college football job and not be hot seated as a Power 5 program, that's a damn accomplishment, especially with fans the way they are this day and age. I mean,
no, it's a great win. Now I got to finish the job against in the Big Ten championship game, which they should do. I forgot who they're playing.
Iowa.
It is Iowa. Can't kill Iowa, can we?
Well, that's what happens when your AD is the chair of the committee.
Yeah, we did that. We had a discussion last week, didn't we? Yeah.
We had this discussion last month.
So you expect them to take care of business all next week, right?
I mean, not doing so would be the most Michigan thing of all time. But yeah, I expect them to, right?
Yeah. You don't put all the eggs in the Ohio State basket. You still got football be played this week. Clinch the spot in the playoff. You know what I mean? So.
Well, even if, let's say, Michigan blows it, like, there's no guarantee Ohio State ends up in there either, right?
No, they're done. Ohio State's done.
Well,
no, they're done. They need a lot of help at this point. I mean, because Oklahoma State is a better case of getting it before them.
And that's my point, right? If Oklahoma State beats Baylor as the number 8 team, that's some convincing stuff. And it would be the first time in a long time that we got a Big 12 candidate in the college football playoff that I felt good about.
And Notre Dame has been a case, I would say, Ohio State at this point, too.
I'm not going to go that far. Again, who is Notre Dame beaten? Wisconsin? That's your best answer? Sorry, I can't go.
What are they now in the rankings? They're top 15, right? At least top 20?
Who?
Wisconsin.
I thought they were 15th last week. I could be wrong there.
But they are ranked. I'm not saying it's a great win, but
they're ranked entirely too high, and it's bullcrap. Yes.
Right.
The only thing worse than that is Wake Forest ever being within the top 20, let alone anywhere else that they ended up.
We've had this conversation before in the past, so.
And by the way, of the championship games taking place this weekend, I'm more interested and would be more compelled by what's going on in the Atlantic Sun Conference or the MAC. than the damn ACC championship game. Penn and Boston College. Woo! In the words of Peter Griffin, who the hell cares? Okay.
Okay. Yep. All right. Let's go to the NFL real quick. I'm gonna throw a stat for you real quick.
Actually, before you go to the NFL,
Okay.
you were one of these that was lamenting the fact that Auburn did not win the Iron Bowl. Were you not?
Let me no, I was pissed they lost. I like Auburn.
That's my point.
They're my third team.
And I kind of did. I mean, I dig Auburn in general. They're a good program. I respect them.
Cam Swag.
You did not want Auburn to win that football game. You don't know it yet.
I heard that case in the show last. You made a case on the show last night with Jim, and I actually agree with you now.
Shall I elaborate for those who haven't heard the Huddle Up podcast and have something wrong with their life?
Why was it good for Alabama? If you're a Notre Dame fan or which school? What is this?
And just a fan of college football in general. So.
Okay, why is it?
Especially a Cincinnati fan, I might add.
Right. Why is it good Alabama won against Auburn last week, despite?
If Alabama had lost to Auburn, okay, then somehow or another, in some way, they beat Georgia in the conference championship. Not saying it's going to happen, but if that had happened, you're going to tell me that the committee would not only keep Georgia out, they wouldn't, right? I think of all the teams who are currently locked to get in the college football playoff, Georgia is it, period.
Oh, yeah.
They're not getting any lower than 3 in the top 4.
Even if they lose next week, they're still locked in.
That's my point. Right. If they lose, they'll be 3. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that if that happened, that Alabama wouldn't, as the SEC champion, be in the college football playoff?
They'll have that one win, the one biggest win of the year.
And it's happened before, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Right? Remember TCU back when, I forget what year it was, beat their opponent by 50. Now, granted, the Big 12 didn't have a conference championship back then, if memory serves. But they were still kept out the playoff by, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
Yeah. Yep.
No one is safe, and anybody placing faith in the community is a raging moron.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact that Notre Dame does not have a conference championship is very problematic because the committee could decide, well, your best win, Cincinnati, was Notre Dame, and, well, they didn't play this week, and we didn't really get a chance to see the thing, but hey, Oklahoma State whooped that booty. Here comes Michigan. They did pretty good. And Alabama played pretty close to the conference championship for the SEC, the actual best conference in college football, best money can buy.
Yeah, of course.
And there's only 4 spots, Cincinnati. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, NFL quick. I'm gonna touch on 2 things here. This one first. It shouldn't take too long.
Just say go Patriots and get it out of the way. I know you're happy about what happened against the Titans, and if you're not, I am, because the Titans are now officially in Janet Jackson status.
They are not my power rankings week. Let's put it that way. They're gone.
Hey, that's an accomplishment. Have you seen the Chiefs?
I will say they caught a break though, because Indy losing this weekend. They caught a break because Indy had won this week. They only be a game behind in the standings with 6 weeks to go, and that could actually flip in the next couple weeks. I'm gonna run you the stat real quick.
All right.
5-21, 92 yards, 2 picks, passer rating of 5.8.
What is Lamar Jackson on Sunday night? I'm guessing.
No. It's our boy Cam Swag, dude.
Oh.
Dolphins.
Yeah, listen. I'm the one that tried to warn you he was going in a situation where he is going to fail. I mean, remember that?
Yeah.
Said, what would I say? I'm glad he's back, but, right?
Same thing. I did not know how this would be beneficial. I mean, maybe energize the base a little bit, but beyond that, on the field,
It was CMC, Christian McCaffrey done for the year. So too are the Panthers.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're fading now. They're fading fast. Yeah. I guess the larger question is this though: is Cam done now? We've been saying it for like last year. Maybe it couldn't be done because the Patriots COVID thing, whatever. Now we see this now.
I think, I don't know what they're paying him. And if it's starter money, then the answer is yes, right? It's hard for me to believe that if Cam wants to be a backup somewhere, like what would be fantastic is when is when Russell Wilson leaves and he joins the New York Giants, and you'll have to root against him as a Patriots fan. If Cam Swag
we're going there, you asshole. We're going there.
What? Oh, I didn't even have them bring up. Listen, I didn't even bring up your brand new Christmas tree topper that's a blue star. I didn't even bring that up. And it has nothing to do, by the way, with your wife celebrating Hanukkah, because there's blue stars all up in that decoration, too, because it's festive. No, I'm talking about a Cowboys blue star, Mr. Super Bowl contender mother bleeper right there, who Big Jim is probably still angry at you about. But I digress.
You disrespectful, stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot. It took you way too long to have that ready for me to go off on you like that, and I'm here for every stinking minute of it. You know what that might as well say? Victory to the student of the game. I digress.
Right. No, by the way, touching on we'll get to locks real quick. Talking on Russell Wilson, because I think this is over. They lose that.
Let me say the punchline real quick for this.
Go ahead.
Cam in New York backing up Russell Wilson in 2022 makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Similar styles. Yeah.
Can handle the big market. Swags in the big market.
I don't think Cam would do it. But look, I say it again. I am all for my favorite player of all time being my favorite team of all time. I'm all for it.
He already joined the Patriots. No, see, that failed.
No, the Giants. Shut up. The Giants. Carrington, Wilson.
Listen, get out from behind the mic and smile again so we all know why Kyle's joking. Okay? There it is. Nailed it. Got it. We can keep going.
All right, let's get locks. It's the last topic here. Because the lock will take up a lot of what we need to talk about in the NFL. Which conference first, buddy?
We'll do AFC.
Okay.
So we'll do NFC. Sorry, it's a lot more stable.
I feel like because we were talking on the text with Jim, and I told him that the AFC is still a kerfuffle. The NFC feels a little more defined. He disagreed with me about that. I said no.
Really? Of all the times you could use the F word, you're not going to call the AFC frisky? Are you serious?
It's always frisky. No, but the NFC at least feels somewhat defined. Like you know who your top teams are.
The NFC, yes, right.
There is already an established tier in the NFC.
I'll get behind that.
Okay, so right now, if this thing will work again, I'm sorry about that. Right now, your leaders in the NFC are as follows. So right now, the NFC East leader, Dallas Cowboys. Your NFC North leader is the Green Bay Packers. You have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South, and the Arizona Cardinals at the NFC West. Your wild cards right now, if the playoffs started today, are as follows. They are the LA Rams. They are the Niners right now, the 6th seed.
Damn straight, yeah.
And now, all of a sudden, the Washington football team at number 7.
I noticed you didn't say the Vikings, Ernest Christian.
Well, right now, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 teams right now with 5 and 6.
Well, one of them is the fraud cons. Get them out.
Cons. One of the Vikings also, too.
And then, one of them is also the Panthers, who are also done.
Now, a half game behind that is who else has 5 wins, but 5 and 7 are the Eagles and the Panthers. And then 1 game behind are both the Giants and the Bears.
Okay, stop it.
I'm just telling you the clusterfuck right now in the NFC in the wild card picture. Now, like I said,
yeah, but those last two are cluster fluffers. Okay, let's.
Tier 1, we agree. Tier 1, the NFC right now is the Green Bay Packers, the Arizona Cardinals, and I'll even give you the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
No, I'm not putting the Bucs in there right now. They should have lost that game to the Colts.
Oh,
Carson Wentz kept in it.
Okay.
That defense in the secondary looks awful, and your boy Tom Brady ain't looking too hot either.
My boy, Tommy. Yeah.
He did not look good against the Colts. Absolutely not.
Fournette did.
Fournette looked great. And shouts to my friend Travis Holmes, who said he was a bust when he was first drafted in Jacksonville. How's that going, Chief?
Shit. Anyway, we agree all 4 division leaders are locks to win it.
You can't say it definitively with the Cowboys mathematically because there's still time for them to plummet. But I don't even think they're that bad yet.
No, I'm comfortable saying all 4 teams are going to win a division. I'm comfortable saying the Cardinals win the division now. There's now a gap between them.
The Cardinals are in the toughest division, but they have so many tiebreakers on their side. The conference and divisional records are dominated by them right now. 2
games ahead of the Rams right now, the win-loss column, and has a win over the Rams as well, too.
Yeah, and they're up to. Well, yeah, you're talking about the head-to-head. Even the division, the only other team to win more than – or the only team in the division right now to have more than one division win – Arizona Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. The only lock I'll give you, because I have 4 locks here in the NFC in terms of division. All 4 games. Dallas will still figure it out no matter what. They'll win the East. There's no way the Eagles making that much ground. They're not good enough to make much ground. I'm still locking the Rams, even though they're struggling. They'll find a way to get to the playoffs as a wild card.
The Niners. Okay, so for the playoffs, you could be correct. The Niners could very well pass them.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that, but
you said the playoffs. You're right.
Wild card. There's no scenario I see the Rams getting out of the wild card spot. There's no scenario that's going to play out. I see that happening.
I agree.
Okay. Then they'll get surpassed by the Niners at some point, but I don't see that them being out completely. So I guess you agree with that too as well. I'm not going to lock anybody right now beyond that, but I do feel good about the Niners.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to lock the Niners yet because it wouldn't be in true form as somebody who follows the Niners locking them and then they start to fall apart. Not to mention with the Deebo Samuel injury, he's out 2 weeks. And they have another injury off the top of my head that I can't remember. Right. But Samuel is problematic, right? He's a central weapon to that offense simply because their receiver core depth at actually playing wide receiver is awful.
Yeah. I'll ask you this, because I'm sure you're not going to lock anybody else this, though. But of one spot, obviously the Niners, one spot left, of all these bumbling teams here left in here, Washington, Minnesota, Atlanta, New Orleans, Philly, Carolina, and even New York, which team do you feel good about getting that spot? Not saying lock them.
The team I feel best about of the group, because they all suck and are only in here because the NFL added another playoff spot, which I was vehemently against.
We both were.
I'm not prepared to count the Vikings out.
Me too. I'm with you. I think Minnesota will be
because they still have the Lions and various other garbage teams in the remaining schedule.
And Minnesota on their best day looks like a playoff contender, and the worst day like a freaking shit.
They're capable of strings of decent football. They're not capable of consistent strings of decent football.
They are getting healthier though. It's helping. Although Dalvin did get hurt on Sunday, but
Dalvin Cook, but they're getting healthier. No, that's like saying, well, I'm breathing oxygen, but my nose is chopped off of my face.
No, overall, Dalvin got hurt this week. He's fine for this week though, but he's the only one that got nicked up this past Sunday. All right, so let's go to the AFC real quick. The AFC, that's the bigger cost of flop, because if you actually give me a tier 1, I can't give you a tier 1 because I think you can make a case of at least 6-7 teams in this kerfuffle could be a tier 1 team. You can make a case for that.
No, because you've been wrong consistently throughout the year and taking giant diarrhea dumps on the Baltimore Ravens, and they have proved you wrong time in and time out, and you still had them at 9 when they are currently the best actual team in the AFC. Thank you very much, Ernest Christian. And I won't even get into your love affair with the Chiefs, who are again inferior to the Bengals, just like I said they were weeks ago. So no, I will not sign off on the lack of a tier 1. Now, is there less of a distance between tier 1 and 2? Absolutely. But the Ravens are tier 1. Now, you want me to put another team in there with them? I can't do it yet.
Okay. So right now, the AFC division leaders are as follows. The Twins right now are leading the AFC North. The Patriots are the AFC East leaders right now. The Tennessee Titans are still the AFC South leaders, and the Kansas City Chiefs are the AFC West leaders. Okay. So your wild cards right now, the players for today, your wild cards are as follows: the Bengals, the Bills, and the Chargers in that order. Now, Chargers 65 as a 7 seed, but you got the other 2 teams in the AFC West also at 65, the Broncos and the Raiders. The Colts with a huge loss this weekend, now half a game behind 6-6. The Browns at 6-6. Steelers at 5-1, and don't look now with Miami Dolphins 5-7.
Stop it.
They won 4 in a row. They won 4 in a row.
They still have 2 games, I believe, to play against the New England Patriots. They're done.
No. I have 1 game.
Is it 1?
Yes, they beat them week 1.
Oh no, excuse me. 1 game there, and I think they have the Bills at least once more too. Maybe that's the team they're playing twice to life.
Bills are done. They lost twice to the Bills already.
Then there's something else in their schedule I'm forgetting. Then that's not a gimme.
I think the Tennessee's the only one that have left at hard schedule. I made a case on this on this very podcast when they beat Baltimore in an ugly ass game 3 weeks ago. I made the case that, not saying it's going to happen, but their schedule is soft a little bit now. They got 2 Jets games, a Giants game, and a Panthers game. So far, the 3-0 under that current
against those juggernauts. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. The schedule works out for them right now. So they passed the Jets case. They passed the Panthers case. They should beat the Giants this weekend down here in South Florida.
I mean, they look pretty fruit. Trubisky against the Eagles, right?
They're trash. And then the Jets again. So I was saying, fucking guy, I was saying at that time when they were 3-7 that they could end up at 7-7, and who knows where the push looks like at that point.
Right.
They're almost there. They're almost there.
I'm thinking why am I so?
They lost twice already. They played the Pats once already, so they've already exhausted most of the AFC East juggernauts.
Yeah, no, I'm not arguing with you, but I thought their remaining schedule was a little harder than that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is.
They play the Jets. Okay, so here's the right now. Giants this week, right?
Yeah.
Bye week.
I mean, that's a tough out for them. Sorry.
Bye week. No, but what a spot got a bye week though, right? What a spot.
Yeah. No, listen. All joking aside, that is legit AF.
Your remaining 4 games in order: Jets, Saints, Titans,
and then Pats to finish it up. Yeah,
right.
That's where I screwed up. At one point, the Saints looked like a tough out.
Fuck out of here. They're done.
Correct.
The Jets stink. The Titans, who knows? They maybe still free fall at that point.
With the Dolphins' defense and Xavier Howard being what he is at the corner spot, he's good for at least one interception of Ryan Tannehill, right?
And that Pats game, the Pats might have things wrapped up by week 18. We don't know that yet. So
that's very possible.
Right.
And I think where I might be getting confused, and I'll look it up to confirm it. The other thing that I think might have confused me is I think we have 2 Pats Bills games remaining. That could have been where I was screwing.
And that starts this week, I think.
Okay, so that's where I was mixed up.
Right.
Which, by the way, said no one ever to this point. What a compelling race between the Bills and the Pats.
Don't you love football, dude? It's been great.
Listen.
It's
Chaos is the name, but damn it. A lot of good times, a lot of drama here.
Okay. So let's lock some bitches up here real quick. I have no qualms right now saying that right now I can't lock Tennessee yet, man.
You have to lock them for the playoffs because that is the second worst division in the league. They're going to make the playoffs. They can basically hurl themselves. You're telling me they can't win 3 more games to get to the 11 that I predicted?
So your main schedule of the Tennessee Titans right now are as follows: Jaguars, they should win that game. Well, right now they're in a bye. So but
they win. On the not the 19th, the following the 12th. They host the Jags, and they're going to win that game at home.
Steelers.
That could go either way, actually.
That's what I'm saying. Niners
actually might win that game now.
Dolphins.
They should win against the Dolphins.
And then against the Texans. So could you find 3 wins in there?
Dolphins, Jags, Texans.
Okay. So we'll lock them up then. Let's lock the Titans is because not only that the Colts, I don't know if the Colts make up ground in time to do that. That lost.
No, and have you don't bother looking at the Colts schedule. I'll tell you the 2 games that prevent it from happening because they already have the tiebreak, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Bucks and the Cardinals still on the schedule, the Colts.
They have the Cardinals, the Raiders, Patriots, and Jaguars. They lost to the Bucks already.
Excuse me, the Patriots. Yeah, they lost to the Bucks this past week. Sorry.
Now they got to bye week 14, but they got 2 Texans games coming up. They got the Patriots, Cardinals, and Raiders. So
Patriots and Cardinals makes catching up impossible.
Anyway, so let me go here real quick. Well, give me your locks quick. You do your locks first, and then I'll follow you after.
Okay, so I don't have the Baltimore Ravens nor the Cincinnati Bengals as locks to win their division, obviously, but they are locks to make the playoffs. That's going to happen.
Okay.
The Titans, despite their free fall, are a lock. Okay. The Chiefs, looking at their schedule now and basically seeing how overwhelmingly useless the rest of the division has somehow become, I have the Chargers as a lock. Excuse me, the Chiefs as a lock at the 4th seed. However, here are your remaining playoff participants, right? Second place for the AFC North, whoever that is. Technically speaking, I'm going to pick the Bengals, which I can't find my sheet, but I'm pretty sure I had them at least 1 game short, if not outright in the playoffs.
Right.
Where I'm going to be whiffing is I had the Raiders making the playoffs. Not going to happen. I just because of everything that happened with Gruden and all that, and now that the team technically in some weird way doesn't have a head coach, but they do. They have an acting coach, and just the way it's being run right now is just too chaotic, and there's too many question marks. I have no reason to believe that they will come back to any sort of winning ways. Which, if you're a Vegas fan, that sucks. Straight up. And because of that, and my complete and total lack of faith in the Broncos, by the way, I think by sheer accident, just because they have Justin Herbert, the Chargers hang on for a final spot.
You're not locking them, though.
What's that?
You're not locking them, though. You're not going to lock the Chargers.
I'm locking them in the playoffs, yes.
Are you really? Okay.
Because the rest of their division is bad, which leads me to my final team being the Colts, but not as the final seed. They're going to be 6, right? So it's going to be Ravens. Do I think the Titans will hold on to be number 2 in? No, I don't. Yeah, I got the Ravens. Excuse me. I'm all wrong. Let me try that again. I got the Ravens. I got the Bills at 2. I don't think they're good. I'm not going to lock them at 2, but they're going to make the playoffs, right? 3 is the Titans. 4th is the Chefs. 5 is the second place of AFC North. 6 is second place of the AFC East, be it Bills or Pats.
Right.
And then the final team is the Chargers, simply because I don't think the Colts will climb back up, and they have those 2 tough games that we talked about.
Okay. So here's where I'm at right now. I was last.
And I'm locking, by the way.
Okay. By the way. Okay. So all 4 teams that right now leaders are locks. They're gonna get in the playoffs somehow, some way. Okay. Ravens get in the playoffs. Pats will get in the playoffs as either wild card or division winner. Titans will get in because of obviously they have enough wins stacked up early to withstand that. Although I have the Titans fall into the 4th seed, because I think the Chiefs will pass them.
Of course.
Yeah. They only have him behind them. Don't have him behind.
Never, Homer.
Hey, Pat Mahomes, how you doing?
You're a Pat Mahomer. Got it.
You're damn right. You're damn fucking right, dude. Now, the interesting part of your argument is the wild card now, because as I said, I like the Bengals. I'm still want to see one more week. One more week. I think the Bills will get the Bills or Pats will get the 5 seed. Okay.
You're killing me, Smalls.
I'm not gonna lock the Bengals yet, though. But I think I feel good about them.
You know what, though? It's your show. You have every right to be incorrect.
Right. I know. The Bengals could get in. I won't lock them yet, though. But of the teams I feel good about going forward, who I trust, the 7th seed will be the Colts. Bills.
You just said that you trust Carson Wentz.
I trust
Joe Burrow.
Taylor.
Do you understand what just happened there?
I trust Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor. I don't trust the fucking Broncos or Raiders or Browns or the Steelers at this point now.
Did I say Teddy Bridgewater? No, I didn't. I said you trust Carson Wentz over Joe Burrow. Shall we elaborate a wee tiny bit at Joe Burrow's remaining schedule?
All I'm saying is that no. I'm saying my wild cards will be the Bengals, the AFC East second place per team, and the Colts.
Well, and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the game that will decide whether.
I'm not gonna lock it though, but I'm saying that's how I feel right now. I feel about.
Because you're a raging pansy and I'm correct. There's a difference.
Whiskey.
The game that's going to decide your fate, ironically involving the Cincinnati Bengals, will be when they face the Chiefs in Week 17.
Okay.
Because I think that game's gonna be pretty huge. They got the Ravens again. They're hosting them. They're scheduled coming out after smashing the Steelers. By the way, can we comment on that? Oh my God!
I just want to see one more week of the Bengals.
So they got the Chargers next week,
and that'll be the week I decide. Yep, you're in. They win this week, they're in, because the Chargers. I don't trust Chargers. They're done. They're done. Okay. I don't know. You're still on that fucking bandwagon. I don't know why. I don't trust them at all.
Hey. We've had the scenario where you left the Chargers for dead, and I picked them. And what happened, Ernest Christian?
Philip Rivers was the quarterback at the time. The guy you hate. Anyway.
I came around on Philip the Fraud, let's be honest. It was kind of like Andre Agassi. As he got older, I started to like him.
All right, Kyle, plug away.
Man, listen. That's what she said? Oh, sorry. Ernest Christian, always a good time here on the Football is Awesome podcast because, in fact, no matter how frisky you are, football is awesome. Find me on Twitter, Kyle Nash, to the game as the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my work as well with the Black and Gold Banneret, covering UCF men's and women's basketball as well as football. Also covering some football and NFL as well, specifically the Jacksonville Jaguars for the three-point conversion. And also check out my work on the Huddle Up podcast as a special contributor with Big Jim. And you know, the guy that carries the weight when, you know, certain other people don't show up. That's not just you, EJ. Matt wasn't on either. Our resident AJ Hawk.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Why?
You don't carry weight. Fuck out of here, dude.
Really?
Don't be rude.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm joking.
Uh-huh.
I've been getting frisky lately.
No, you haven't. And of course, check out my work with Demosthenes Euclid as we are recording our various holiday offerings. Of course, our Thanksgiving tribute surrounding our movie. The one time we've broken our 20-year rule was for this movie, Ernest Christian. Thank You for Smoking. Check it out. Good time all the way around there. And of course, my work with oldschool101.com, the Captain and Company Morning Show, A7BN Sports, my friend Captain Chris Hill.
All right. So the Game Report, as always, every week. Loving it.
Love it all the time. Love it more than McDonald's. Until next time, everybody. Class dismissed.